Yo, what's cracking, everybody? James Coe here with you, aka the Sleeper King. We are talking about deep sleepers, aka post waiver wire guys, basically guys that are on the free agent pool that you can go pick up right now and potentially help you in week number 16, making your playoff appearances. Anyways, okay, let's get right to it, man. Let's talk about the running back position. Let's talk about Jawar Jordan taking on Las Vegas. Great matchup for this Houston Texan running back. Again, we don't know exactly what the health status is for both Nick Chubb and, of course, Woody Marks. But Woody Marks did have to leave this game, right? So, again, where are we at health-wise in this Texans backfield? I don't know. But I do know this. After they sent Jawar Jordan back to the practice squad on Monday, I think Tuesday, Monday. And then on Tuesday, they called him back up and signed him to the regular 53-man roster. So, again, Woody Marks is dealing with that ankle injury. I don't know why. Hey, yo, is it just me, or does Woody Marks leave every single game banged up at some point? Like, it's bizarre, but Woody Marks is banged up. I don't think the Texans are that worried about Woody Marks, but shoot, Nick Chubb might be done here, right? And I do wonder if Jawar Jordan, who, by the way, posted the first 100 rush yard game of the season for the Texans, no other running back has run for more than 100 yards. Jawar Jordan did it in part-time relief here in week number 15. Again, he only played 44% of the snaps. It did lead the Houston backfield. 44% of the snaps, though. That's wild. I really like this kid, Jawar Jordan. By the way, I liked him coming out of college as well. He's a former Louisville product, 5'10", 193 pounds. What I wrote about him in his prospect profile was that he played bigger than his 193-pound frame, and he ran way faster than his 4.56 40. And I think we saw both of those aspects there in week number 15, right? So, the guy broke off a 50-yard run. Let's be real here. So, again, I really like him there for Houston. Let's see if he can get some burn. I wouldn't be surprised if if he is the backup to Woody Marks there, because it doesn't sound like Woody Marks is going to miss time here. But, again, if Nick Chubb misses time, though, Jawar Jordan is in a really good spot. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 50-50 backfield split there in Houston. But again, has to be somebody that should be rostered right now. Only 1% rostered according to Fantasy Pros. Similar rostership across the board as well. So yeah, Jawar Jordan, he should be available, as you see, 1% rostered, and getting you ready for your semifinals. And again, is he a start for me right this second? No, but I think he's a great sleeper. He's taken on Las Vegas. Las Vegas has given up on the season, and shoot, they can't stop the run. So, yeah, Jawar Jordan's in a really, really good spot. So, is he a must start? Nah, he's not a must start right now. At least not in 12-team leagues. In 14-team leagues, we can start talking here in terms of flex consideration, but 12-teamer? I don't think so. Not quite yet. By the way, if y'all are on the YouTube side, man, if you guys have questions or whatever, throw them into the chat, and we'll get to as many of these chat questions as possible. If you got start-sit questions, go ahead, throw them in, man. Throw them in. We're gonna answer as many of these questions as possible as well. Okay, we move on. Let's talk about a wide receiver there in Seattle whose snap share spiked just a little bit. We're talking about Rashid Shaheed, speedster. There in the Pacific Northwest. He's taking on the LA Rams. A couple of interesting notes here. Let me give a couple stats out the way, and we'll get to some of these questions here too. But Rashid Shaheed played 68% of the snaps there in Week 15. That was his highest since joining the team, and it's the first time he's actually cracked 57% as a Seahawk. Right, so nearly 70% snap share. We really like that. Again, when we're looking at sleepers here, when you're talking about wide receiver or tight end, you want them about as close to 70% snap share as possible. That means they're fully utilized in the offense. That means they're running a lot of routes. That means they're being trusted by the coaching staff. 57%, not really usable. A lot of folks dropped Rashid Shaheed in competitive leagues. So you kind of take a look at his rostership percentage at 54%. It's really interesting, right? Like, I think in competitive leagues, he's more available than in non-competitive leagues, if that makes any sense, right? Like in non-competitive leagues, the guy who had Rashid Shaheed probably stopped checking in on his team. He just said, who cares? I'm not going to drop this guy. He's on his roster. But in competitive leagues, I think after 2-3 weeks of basically doing nothing, Rashid Shaheed might be available in a lot of leagues. So he's one of the few players where his rostership percentage is over 50% that I'm actually going to say, actually, in week 16 of competitive leagues, might actually be more available than some of these other dudes that I bring up. So Rashid Shaheed is in an interesting spot. By the way, the matchup's pretty good too. Like the Rams have a really good real life defense, but for fantasy purposes only, right? They have given up big time production to outside wide receivers, right? So it's an interesting matchup because, again, Rams good defense in real life, but against outside wide receivers specifically. And shoot, I could pull up some numbers here. Hold on before I do this. Let me pull this up. LA Rams, I got it here. Okay. Obviously, they have given up big-time production to outside wide receivers, especially in recent weeks. J-Mo Williams got him for 26. Michael Wilson got him for 37. Tet McMillan got him for 11 points. Emeka Ibuka kind of fell off a little bit, but week 11 matchup, JSN got him for 20. Now you can say, well, Rashid Shaheed in that matchup only got 4.9. Hey, listen, I get it. But that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams look at this and say, hey, man, we cannot let JSN do his thing. We got to slow him down. I wonder if it opens up some more doors and some more opportunities here for Rashid Shaheed. And not for nothing, by the way, not for nothing. This is Rashid Shaheed's third time seeing the LA Rams because of the trade. The Saints played him earlier in the season too. So this is actually the third time that Shaheed has seen the LA Rams. I just wonder if there's a little bit more familiarity with that defense. Can he pop off at least one play? And that's what Shaheed is, man. Like, he's a big play away from coming through for you in fantasy football. So, again, if he's available, I'm really interested. I like the snap share percentage, pushing 70%. Obviously had a pretty good game as well. 7 targets, 5 grabs for 74. That's pretty good. So we'll go there. Let me answer some of these questions here. This is from Joser85. Can we trust Rashid Rice still? And that's because of obviously the Mahomes injury, right? So I would say, can we trust him? Yeah, I think we have to trust him because he's going to be, again, the number 1 wide receiver there. Let me put it to you this way, man. Like, if you go across the board, I don't care where your number 1 wide receiver is, but if your number 1 wide receiver is there, he's at least in flex consideration. I don't care, across all 32 teams. Like, look at the number 1 wide receiver, how bad the quarterback is. It doesn't really matter. And by the way, can I just say this? Gardner Minshew's not bad. Is he good? No. But he's actually legitimately good for a backup. Is he one of the top 20 quarterbacks in the NFL? No. But I think you're crazy if you think he's outside the top 35. Right? So, like, I put him somewhere between, like, 30 and 25. Listen, there's a lot of bad starters out there, bro. There are a lot of bad starters out there right now, okay? I mean, shoot, we got Brady Cook starting here for the Jets, potentially, right? So, no, I don't think Gardner Minshew is actually legitimately bad. Plus, I trust Andy Reid. Andy Reid is the head coach right there. It's not like some random scrub head coach, right? So Andy Reid, I think, will get these guys organized, going in the right direction. Maybe, I mean, listen, there'll be a little bit of a downtick. There's no question. It's not the quality of quarterback that we've got from Mahomes. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think we could trust Minshew for at least 1 week, at least for Rashid Rice. Let me just put it that way. Okay, let me put some bumpers on there, man. Okay, Joshua Caps. May or Burrow? Well, man, I would normally say we could go ahead and trust Burrow, but can we though? I don't know, man. Let's go with May. He's taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens have obviously stabilized their defense quite a bit. But overall, I think they're still susceptible to giving up big plays every now and again. I mean, shoot. Aaron Rodgers with 1 wide receiver got him for 21 fantasy points, bro. This Joe Burrow Week 15 performance was just utterly shocking. I mean, shocking. Burrow owns the Ravens, owns them. I mean, he goes crazy when he plays the Ravens. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions, bro. That was a shockingly bad performance for Joe Burrow. And I don't care, man. Like, if anyone says, "Oh, I saw it coming," no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Show me. No, that's like I got people on my mentions like, man, shoot, I would have told you Burrow was going to suck because he didn't have T. Higgins. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't think that. No one thought that. If anyone thought that, I would have seen that online. No one's bringing up receipts. It's just it's all a post facto. Like, oh yeah, I saw it coming. No, you didn't. Stop it. But the Baltimore Ravens, meanwhile, again, they're more middle of the pack, man, but. There have been some quarterbacks that have really busted them for big games here, right? So I think we can trust May a little bit more than what we're looking at with Cincinnati. Look, Miami's defense absolutely stinks too, but man, it's so hard. It is so difficult to trust Joe Burrow right now because I'm just wondering where he's at in his headspace, man. So give me Drake May. Give me Drake May right there. Okay, this is from Philip. What's up with Rome? Rome Odunze? Can I trust him? No. Is he even playing? No, you cannot trust Rome Odunze. He's injured. His foot's all banged up, and I would argue that his foot's been banged up all year long, man. So no, I would not trust Rome Odunze at all. KV90, who should I trust more this week, Stafford or Lamar? Man, I am. This one's got me twisted up too. I'm gonna say Stafford. Lamar was really nice last week, but let me just say, Lamar's not running as much. And I think it's also fair to wonder if he is dealing with an injury there as well. So, yeah, go ahead. I would say give me Stafford. I really want to say Lamar, but Stafford has been kind of sort of automatic. I know he, has had some down spots this year for sure, like every fantasy quarterback, man. And I know they're taking on the Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, rather. But no Devontae too. Seahawks have generally been tough, but let me just say this too. Matt Stafford. Yeah, man. I'm like I said, this one's got my brain a little bit of a pickle here, but I am leaning Stafford here. Hey, yo, check back in with me on like Friday, because that's when I really get all of my matchup data just like dialed in, and we get to see some injury reports, like what's up with Devontae. I don't think he's going to play, but he might. I don't know, man. So check back in with me on Friday. But as we sit here today. I think I want to say Stafford, but I think he'll overcome. I think he'll overcome a pretty bad matchup. But right now, I'm leaning Stafford. Let me look at this matchup data here real quick for Lamar. Obviously, he is taking on New England. I think New England's a pretty tough matchup too. No, New England is middle of the pack. Middle of the pack. Seattle is one of the better ones. So I don't know. Let me go with Stafford there, though. But again, I don't have total confidence in it right now. All right, let me get back to this list here real quick. Okay, we talked about Jawar Jordan. We talked about Rashid Shaheed. Man, can I bring up Trey Harris taking on the Dallas Cowboys? Let's be real. Quentin Johnston, he was a surprise scratch on Sunday. He had that late week growing injury. I actually don't know what's up with Quentin Johnston. And whether or not he's going to play this week. But if he does not play, I think Trey Harris is in a really, really good spot, right? I mean, shoot. Dallas has given up tons of production to outside wide receivers. And again, this is more for my people in like a desperation 12-team move or a 14-team playoff. Trey Harris is widely available. He should be available right now. It's all good. Obviously had a pretty good game last week, but it's all good. Trey Harris, I think, is in a really, really good spot against Dallas. We have to keep an eye on the status there with Quentin Johnston, right? So that would probably be my only concern. But yeah, we'll go check in on him. Trey Harris last week, 5 targets, 3 grabs for 49. But again, the matchup here against Dallas is really, really intriguing as well. Okay, we go to the tight end position here. How about Darren North of the Waller taking on the Cincinnati Bengals? Somehow, some way, the Cincinnati Bengals limited Baltimore's tight ends. I don't know how they did it. I thought Isaiah Likely was going to have a great game. I'm pretty sure I came on this stream and said Isaiah Likely was going to have a great game, and I look like an idiot. So, again, I call out the people who say, oh, they called Joe Burrow for having a bad game. I'm calling myself out. I said Isaiah Likely was one of my favorite sleepers. That guy did absolutely nothing. I mean, literally nothing. Did he end up with a 0 spot? Let me look at this here. Did he actually end up with a 0 spot against Cincinnati? He did. That's... That is absolutely insane. What? Wow. That's crazy. Isaiah Likely with a 0 spot against Cincinnati. Cincinnati can't stop anyone at the tight end position. They can't do it, man. That's crazy. As a matter of fact, remember Isaiah Likely against Cincinnati in week 13 had a great game. 6 targets, 5 grabs for 95. Should have been a touchdown too, right? Like he had that fumble lost. So 12.5 on the ledger, but that could have been 20. That's an easy 20 right there if he pushes that ball across the end zone. He ended up with a 0 spot, man. That's crazy. My bad. But Darren Waller, we're back with Darren Waller. Darren Waller's getting a little bit more work with Miami as he's coming back from that injury, and obviously making explosive plays here. But yeah, Darren, because he had 2 touchdowns in his Week 15 matchup against Pittsburgh. 8 targets, 7 grabs, 66 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And man, this Mike McDaniel offense, they just can't help but throw to tight end. Like, I don't know who the hell the quarterback is going to be, but we know it's not going to be Tua, right? Is it going to be Quinn Ewers? Yeah, probably Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers there from Miami. I don't know. Like, do I like Quinn Ewers? No, I don't like Quinn Ewers, but I don't like Tua either. So there's that. But yeah, man, if we're talking about Quinn Ewers making this start here, don't be surprised if there's a lot of quick passing game. And if there's quick passing game, given Mike McDaniel's history with tight ends, don't be surprised if Darren Waller is highly utilized. And yes, while Cincinnati did shut down Baltimore's tight ends for some unknown reason, I have no idea how they did it. Overall, they're the worst defense against tight ends in the NFL. I mean, just absolutely atrocious. Horrible against tight ends. They've given up the most fantasy points. And shoot, as a matter of fact, let me just look this up here real quick. It's crazy how many double-digit PPR guys that Cincinnati has given up, which is nuts. Let's see here. Okay, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, both in the same game, more than 14. Isaiah Likely, as we talked about, had 12.5. Hunter Henry went for 24. Darnell Washington went for 10. Colston Loveland went for 29. Mason Taylor went for 14. Jonnu went for 12. Freiermuth went for 28. I mean, the list goes on. It is absolutely insane. The number of big-time tight end scorers that have posted huge performances against Cincinnati. Again, I know it's Quinn Ewers, but I'm still going to be riding that Darren Waller train at tight end. All right, let me get to some of these questions here. KV90, who should I trust more this week, Stafford or Lamar? Okay, I think we got to that one, right? So we're good. Boss Hog, in a 2-flex PPR league, would you go Gainwell and Warren in both flex spots or Luther Burden over one of them? First of all, let me just say this. I think Luther Burden, are we even sure Luther Burden's going to play? He is banged up. He left that game with an ankle injury and was a non-participant in Tuesday's walkthrough practice. So that may answer your question. I don't even know if Luther Burden's going to play. So we got to keep an eye on that. Remember, he did leave that game with that ankle injury, man. So let me just put a pin on that, Boss Hog, because we're not sure what's going to end up happening there. So, yeah, man, let's get it going. By the way, my folks on the YouTube side, man, what y'all dying here, bro? Like we got no, we got no questions in the chat, man. Like, hey, come on, what's going on out here? Let me. I'm gonna post in here myself, dude. Chat, what's going on? Okay. Anyways, if y'all have questions, obviously throw them in there, man. So let's get it going here. Joe Mees Fashies. What a handle. If London comes back this week, and he did practice today, is he a strong start? I would say this. Let's just keep an eye. I would say let's keep an eye on his practice reports, man. I'm a little hesitant to give him my full-throated support here. That being said, yeah, it is a great matchup against Arizona. There's no question. Arizona against outside wide receivers, I think, has struggled as well. Let me take a look at this here real quick. Arizona outside wide receivers. Let's see. They're actually middle of the pack. But that being said, though, number one wide receivers have done pretty well against Arizona. We just saw Nico Collins go for 23. Jacoby went for 15. JSN went for 20. Pickens went for 14. Romeo Dubs went for 13. So, again, when we're taking a look at outside wide receivers, man, they have done okay against Arizona. So, yeah, I think we trust Drake London. I don't necessarily know if we're going full psycho mode with Drake London. J-Main, what's up? J-Main 34, I see you, brother. Tracy or Judkins? I would say for me, I think we're going Tracy here. Are we not? Judkins is kind of sort of fallen off here a little bit. I do wonder if he's hit a rookie wall. Remember, he didn't get any training camp. So I just throw this out there because I'm not 100% sure he hasn't hit a little bit of a rookie wall. You know what I mean? Let me go look up this matchup data here, though. But I am, I think, off the cuff, more interested in Tyrone Tracy. And I got a stat here for you, man. Maybe I don't. Okay. So Buffalo obviously can't stop the run. So Judkins is in a wonderful spot. So let me just say that. Jermaine? Yeah, Jermaine 34. All right, cool. We good. Okay, so Judkins is in an awesome spot against Buffalo. Buffalo can't stop the run right now. I would argue that they actually have the worst rush defense in the NFL currently as we go into week number 15. All right, and then New York is taking on Minnesota, and the Minnesota Vikings are pretty good against the run. So you know what, man? Let me flip that on you. Let me go. Although Minnesota is bottom 10 in terms of rush yards per game allowed. Where are they at in yards per carry? See, 4.03 yards per carry. That's pretty tough. That's 10th best. Okay, so you can't trust Judkins after bombing in these plus matchups. I get you, man, but Buffalo is so bad, bro. Buffalo is so bad at stopping the run. Let me flip it to Judkins. I'm going to flip it to Judkins over Tracy. I did like Tracy's usage. Tracy played like 70%, 75% of the snaps, which is just crazy. So I will say I'm going to go Judkins here because I think he can pop off against Buffalo. So that would just be my initial thought here. Okay, finally, let me get back to this list here. Audric Estime against the Jets, rather. Again, this is another one where we got to check on the health status of Devin Neal. As a matter of fact, let me do that for you. Devin Neal, where are we at with him? Okay, we don't have an update yet. Yeah, he was ruled out with that hamstring injury on Sunday. It's hard to come back from these hammies, man. So again, I just wonder if Devin Neal's going to be available here against the Jets. The Jets, one of the softest matchups that you could find, has given up the third most fantasy points per game to opposing running backs. And yeah, I mean, it's been pretty easy sledding for running backs against the Jets. So Audric Estime, by the way, led the backfield here. Oh my gosh, I had it here. Okay, hold on. Audric Estime. Where are we at with Audric Estime? Okay, Audric Estime And Evan Hull basically split the backfield carries, but Estime did run more routes. That's why I'm more interested in Estime, because Estime ran 14 routes versus Evan Hull's 8. And he ended up with a really solid receiving line, 3 targets, 3 grabs for 39. Meanwhile, Evan Hull did not record a single target, right? Meanwhile, I would say Evan Hull is the more interesting athlete, but Estime, like I said, I think is more going to be more familiar with this offense. It's obvious ties to Sean Payton and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, man. Basically, just with his usage in the pass game, Estime is a little bit more intriguing to me. And again, don't be surprised if they utilize him out of the passing game as well. So yeah, the matchup is great, and against the Jets and Estime, like I said, I liked his usage out of the pass game work. Let's see if he can get it going there as well. Okay, I have about 5 minutes left. I'm going to try to answer as many of these questions as possible. I see Lil Ref in the chat here. I'm struggling, bro. I don't know whether to start Jordan Love or Caleb Williams or pick up Trevor Lawrence. Well, shoot, I'm down for Trevor. Let me just tell you. And shoot, I'll pull up some matchups here, right? Okay, so Jacksonville is taking on the Denver Broncos, so maybe that one's we're kind of sort of ruling him out, maybe, because Denver's obviously really tough, and Denver's playing at home as well. Okay, you've got Caleb Williams, Chicago taking on Green Bay. Green Bay's defense is actually pretty solid as well. And plus, I don't know. Let me look up the weather. What is Chicago weather Sunday? Oh, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold as hell. 29 degrees. It's not that bad, actually, though. Wind 12 miles per hour with some gusting. Not too bad, though. So the weather actually is okay. Weather's actually okay on Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. Things can change on a dime here. But, yeah, again, so Caleb's not in a great matchup. Plus, Caleb is struggling. Plus, Caleb might not have Luther Burden or Rome Odunze. Shoot, man. I think you might actually just be straight up priced into playing Jordan Love. Let's just go that route. Let's just do Jordan Love taking on Chicago. Chicago does get a lot of takeaways, but they give up a lot of yards and plays too. So I would say, Little Ref, let's go with Jordan Love right there. I think you're priced into it because Caleb Williams is interesting, man, but I don't know if we could trust him with no Luther Burden, no Rome Odunze. I don't know. Come back to me if they both play, but Rome Odunze is just, man, he's not it right now, brother. Ricardo Martinez. I need to start 2 running backs and 1 flex. RJ Harvey, if he plays. Right, if he plays, we got to go with him. Kyron Williams, yeah, we're going with him. Michael Carter, shoot, I think we're going with him. Devin Neal, we don't know if he plays, brother. You've got Emeka Ibuka and Adonai Mitchell. Also, I have Chase. Should I start Burrow or Drake May? Wow, this is a lot of names, a lot of questions here. Okay, so I would say at the running back position, if you're going to start 2, yeah, we're starting RJ Harvey if he goes, and we're going to start Kyron Williams. I know he's 65% dude, and it's fine. I think we still go. I think we still go that route. I think if I'm going 1 flex, I might go Michael Carter here. Against Atlanta. Atlanta, I think, has been pretty tough against running backs. But that being said, actually they're bottom 3rd, so not too bad. Not too bad. So I think you're in a good spot with Michael Carter. Again, Bam Knight was placed on IR. I think Amari DiMercado is still ramping up from his injury recovery as well. So I think we have to play Michael Carter just because he's going to get so much work in a potentially high-scoring game as well. So let's go Michael Carter for sure. I think you could take Devin Neal out. I'm not going to trust that hamstring. Even if he plays, what's the chance of re-injury? Not good. I'm not liking that, right? So RJ Harvey, if he plays, Kyron, and I think Michael Carter are your answers there. I don't hate Adonai Mitchell. Let me look at this real quick. Basically, Adonai does well in good matchups, and in not good matchups, he does nothing. So there's that. And Jacksonville, I think, is actually a good matchup, if I'm not mistaken, man. Let me look at this here real quick. Okay, against outside wide receivers, they have given up the 4th most fantasy points per game to outside wide receivers if we're isolating just for outside. Um, so yeah, that's it. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, bro. My bad. I'm tripping. I'm going off of last week's deal here. The Jets, dude. I'm tripping bad, bro. They're taking on New Orleans. Okay, what has New Orleans done against outside wide receivers? New Orleans, my bad, my bad. New Orleans, okay, they're bottom third as well. They're bottom third as well. So it's not a bad matchup. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a great matchup though. I'm okay sitting down Adonai, man. I'm okay sitting them down. Okay, I got a few more questions in here, and then we'll go. Noble, Hawk, McConkey, or Judkins this week? I think I'm going Judkins. Great match against Buffalo. 4 LG at the moment. Should I pick the Saints defense or continue to start Seahawks defense? Well, Seahawks got the LA Rams. That's a little bit dangerous, I think. Saints defense is taking on the Jets, right? Like, so I think we're going. I don't mind going Saints. I don't mind going Saints. Seahawks are interesting, but let me go Saints right there. Okay. Ricardo Martinez. No. We already got you, bro. Okay. Simon. I have IDP kickoff and punt return yards, bro. Sorry, man. I don't play in those leagues. I have no idea. Should I start Malik or Mims? Dude, hasn't Mims been amazing? Is that not true? I think that's true, right? Like, hasn't Mims been amazing in terms of the return yardage? Brother, I don't play in those leagues, so I have no clue. Emeka Ibuka, Olave, or Jennings full PPR. In full PPR, I'm relatively confident in saying Chris Olave. Emeka Ibuka is good, but he's got Mike Evans coming back, or he has Mike Evans back. He's got Chris Godwin back. Shoot, man. I think the thing that concerns me is that they're also working in Jalen McMillan, bro. So I would say Olave, almost for sure in full point PPR. I think we can have a discussion about Jennings if Ricky Pearsall misses, and it sounds like Ricky Pearsall is going to miss. But overall, I feel the most confident with Olave. And then maybe I go with Jennings there, number 2. Yeah, Buka good versus zone, 2.6 yards per route run. I hear you, brother. But like I said, they got a 4-man rotation all of a sudden there in Tampa Bay, bro. Anyways, there you go. My producers tell me I got to get the hell out of here. So, yeah, we got to go. I appreciate everyone out there, man. I think, dude, if I'm not mistaken, bro, let me pull up my calendar. Is this the last one we're doing of the year? This is. Next week's Christmas Eve. We're not doing that. And the week after that is New Year's Eve. This is the last one, guys. Damn. Hey, man. It's been a great run. We had a lot of fun on this stream. I appreciate everyone jumping in there, bro. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man. So again, this is my last stream of the year. For everyone who's jumped in, asked questions, and been positive and everything, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Again, if you guys have questions late in the week, fire it off. Let me know. You see the handle on the bottom of your screen right there, at James D. Co. That's on most platforms, right? So we've got the YouTube side. You could find me on there. You could find me on Blue Sky, Threads, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It don't matter. At James D. Co. It's the same handle across the board. So yeah, man, if you guys want to find me, go ahead. Let's get it going. Ask those questions. But again, hopefully we're back next season, man. I had a lot of fun doing this, doing the stream with y'all, man. But yeah, man, until then, I'll see you, man. Hey, it is crazy that we're at the end here, but we will see. I'm sorry. What was that now? I just got some word in my ear here. What do we got? Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? We're gonna recap here real quick, y'all. Producers tell me I got to recap real quick. It's all good. Hey, let's take a look at the top 5 once again. Jawar Jordan taking on Las Vegas. Beautiful matchup here for Jawar Jordan. He cracked 100 yards, got called up to the active roster on Tuesday. I really like what I saw from a tape perspective against last week on the ground for Jawar Jordan. Let's see if we can get it going again against Las Vegas. Beautiful matchup there. Rashid Shaheed there against the LA Rams played a Seahawk high 68% of the snaps. Really great overall line there too. 4 grabs, 67 yards the week prior, and then last week 5 catches for 74. So pretty good there. And the Rams, again, have given up some big time production to outside wide receivers as well. Trey Harris, man, this guy's a deep sleeper. Deep sleeper, love the matchup. We got to see where he's at health-wise in regards to Quentin Johnston. If Johnston is available, we take Trey Harris out. That's fine. But if he's not available, I like Trey Harris as an outside wide receiver against Dallas. Dallas has not been able to stop outside wide receivers. Darren Waller taking on Cincinnati. Bro, this logic took us into murky waters last week, but it's all good. I'm going to ride this train yet again. Cincinnati has not been able to stop tight end at all year long. I don't think they figured anything out against Baltimore. I just think that, the game script didn't call for it. That being said, backup quarterback concerns, Quinn Ewers there for Miami. Darren Waller, certainly a sleeper here, deep sleeper here against Cincinnati, but I think one that will be relatively popular. Audric Estime, New Orleans Saints running back, taking on the Jets. Pretty decent matchup against the Jets. Audric Estime, once Devin Neal went down, was utilized kind of in a backfield split with Evan Hull. Hull is the more interesting athlete, but Audric Estime ran a lot more routes and had a solid receiving line as well. 14 routes versus 8 routes for Evan Hull, thus making Audric Estime, for me, in PPR formats, more interesting than Evan Hull. But I tell you what, man, I, for one, would not be surprised to see Evan Hull, who is a really good athlete, by the way, break up a long run either. Maybe I'm hedging. Am I hedging? Chat, am I hedging? I feel like I'm hedging. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to pick Audric Estime right there. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyways, there you go. That's your list. Deep sleeper list here for week number 16. It is my last stream of the week. Or of the year, rather. And again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been involved and participated in the chat. Anyways, we'll see you guys. I got to go. But for everyone out there, I just want to remind you guys, man, remember, it is never too late to chase your dreams. All right, man. Peace.